Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Dawkins Enterprise. This is Sister Sharice and episode 2 of relationships. I'm talking to everybody, but especially the women tonight. Women. If I ruled the world, a nation can only rise as high as the woman. And that's what's real. Who was your first nurturer? Your first teacher? Your first healer? Your first leader? Most times it was a woman. Your mother. We as women have to seriously recognize that we need to make some changes. You see, I say we. I too am on a road to recovery. Many of us, how can we not be damaged though? Look at what we have been through as a people. Things are getting ready to change. The shift has already come. So we, as women, we need to get busy. I'm looking at a lot of things, and I came on this internet because things to me were depressing, negative, low vibrational. But who's going to raise the vibration? The woman has to step into her role. Don't worry about what nobody else is doing. That is where we keep going wrong. Keep on worrying about other people. We as women have to raise our children, clean our houses. We're not doing that right. Be honest with yourself. The world got us so busy, we don't clean properly as a whole. I'm sure there are some of you out here that say they clean. Like, I'll say it too. But I'm going to tell you one thing. The way I clean today, I do clean. Don't get me wrong. But baby, back in the 70s, we had to move refrigerators, stoves, all that kind of stuff. My mother had us cleaning the lots in the neighborhood. Get a bucket and grab some gloves. It was like that. We're not taking on the community aspect of the woman that we should. And so, if you're interested, I'd like to challenge all women, because I am a woman, and I too challenge myself. First and foremost, my phone is ringing over here. But anyway, first and foremost, we have to start respecting ourselves. We know we be playing stuff off all the time. Feelings get hurt. You know that little stuff they do there. Like it don't matter. And we turn our insides up. We are mothers. And we have to remember, many of us received most of the wounds that we're carrying when we were children. And we fall right into the matrix. Now our kids are all messed up. We fall into the matrix. We don't respect them. I don't need no man, Whatever, they change with whatever's going on, though, for real. I don't think anybody really standing on any. We got to stand for something. Individually and then collectively. Because first we have to respect ourselves, and then we have to respect other women. Now, I have been through a lot of things. I've had a lot of experiences. I've been on the wrong side of the tracks before. I've done things that I have never should done. You know, you ain't never supposed to mess with nobody else's man. You know. And I think when my 20s, when I really fell in love for real, and my heart got hurt for real, I was like, you know what? I would never. Like my daughter's father and I, you know, when we first got together, he was seeing somebody else and I was seeing somebody else. And he was somebody else's man and I was seeing somebody else. And we got together. And we made a family. But it didn't work because we started off wrong. You know, we started off wrong. And you can't build anything on a foundation that is not strong. So, I vowed to myself I would never do that again. And I didn't. And look, I felt like it was karma. Because every man I had after that day, everybody cheated. But at one time in my life, I didn't care about that cheating stuff. So I had to get cheated on and cheated on and cheated on and cheated on. You know, everything that you do gonna come back to you. You know. So, I'm a single woman now. You know, I've been single. How long? Well, that really wasn't, you know. Anyway, let's move on. We are regaining our power. We got to take it back with ourselves. Because we can't respect other people. That's why we don't respect other people. Because we don't respect ourselves. Clean it up, ladies. Let's clean it up. You know, when I was teaching school, the ladies in the class were, you know, they had their boobies out. You know how they do now. It's normal now. And I have to always remember that I'm a little older than people. So, you know, when my mother was a young lady, she said they lined up down on Grand Avenue at the Fox Theater with their picket signs and everything because they were protesting the clothing of the women who were performing in the Fox. You know. Shout out to Josephine Baker, St. Louis. Anyway, in my day, they didn't like them little dances that we was doing and everything, you know. Doing the butt. Yeah, I mean, hey, sexy, sexy. We was doing stuff. So I have to keep in mind, nowadays, they're doing things differently. So I try to keep that in mind. But the young lady, I said, what you gonna do when somebody take a bite out of that? She's like, oh, Miss Dawkins. But she thought about it because we're inviting things. And sometimes the young lady is trying to do a trend or whatever. Sometimes we innocently walk into things that we're not aware of what's really going on. We're not aware of these little signs and signals. We're just seeing somebody else and say, oh, I like that. And then we do stuff, but we don't know that means something to some people. That means that, okay, come on over here, you know. Even associations. Like when I was a young girl, before I was driving around, I started driving at 15. I'd be going to the store, and you know, I had friends and everything. So I had a friend that had a car. You know, he was liking me and stuff, but I wouldn't go with him unless all my friends could go and stuff. And for 2 years, that's what he did. He drove us all around. But we'll get to the rest of that story later. The point here is, one day I was walking to the store, and this man who I knew from my, mother boyfriend, he was asking me, he kept, like, I'm walking to the store, he like, walking behind me, like, he's saying stuff. I'm like, what is she saying? And I wasn't getting it, Of course, I'm a young girl. And he said something. I said, I'm just going to the store for my mama. He like, what you doing with that pimp? I don't even know what a pimp is at this time. But you know what? You can be targeted, and people could be putting claims on you, selling you, all kind of stuff, and you won't even know it. So we got to start paying attention, respecting ourselves, looking. Don't just do something because you seen somebody else do it, because that might mean something else, and you don't even know it. Or you might think something looking good, or somebody might even be coming to you talking about how good something is. Just give it a moment. Quit moving so fast on everything. Look back and see. What they say is so good might not be so good. My phone keep ringing. Anyway, it's a short message. That is the point. Ladies, a lot of events are going to be happening in the world. That stuff ain't got nothing to do with us. Let's use our time to clean up. So when the time comes, we will be ready. Is anybody going to take this challenge with me? Come on, women. Put it in the comments. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button. Share the video. My mother always told me, Sharice, everybody has their own agenda. And my father always said, everything that's supposed to happen, happens. Until we see one another again. Check out some of my old videos, y'all. I'll see you real soon.